Hey, so welcome to the channel. Glad to have you back. Today I'm going to give you my full review of the Asics Novablast after 100 miles. Hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm Tim. I upload new videos each week all about running, so you'll want to subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell so that you'll be notified each time that I do. I've been running in the Novablast the last couple of weeks, and so I've had a chance to really run it through its paces. I'm training for a half marathon right now, so I've had it on some easy run days, speed repeats, stride repeats, progression runs, and that kind of thing. And it's really performed well throughout all of those workouts. So I've been really impressed with the shoe. At the 100-mile mark, that's when I like to take a closer look at the upper as well as the midsole and the outsole, kind of look at the durability, see how the shoe is holding up over time. And as we look at that upper, you'll notice that there's really no signs of wear at all. It's not pulling away from the foam or from the midsole. It really has held up pretty terrifically over the last couple of weeks. And it takes me about 2 weeks to get to 100 miles on a pair of shoes. So yeah, so the upper's holding up really well. The eyelet chain, I really like how they designed that eyelet chain. Sometimes in the toe box area, my material will kind of bunch up a little bit on my shoes. I just have a little bit of a narrow forefoot. And I didn't have that issue with the Novablast at all. The upper fit really well. The mid foot part of the upper fit snug, and that felt good. But I had lots of room in that toe box, so my toes were not were not crowded at all. It felt really comfortable. The heel counter and the collar of the shoe are pretty well padded, and there's no signs of wear on those areas either. The one issue that I did have worth noting is with the tongue of the shoe, and the majority of the tongue is pretty thin, but you get up towards the top and it's got kind of that diamond shape where it has that Asics written and there's more padding there. On the side of that tongue, it kind of dug into my foot just a little bit at times. So when I would lace it up and snug up my shoe, I would feel that kind of digging into the side of my foot, and that was a little bit uncomfortable. So I had to tie my shoes just a little bit looser up at the top, and I don't run with a runner's knot, so that wasn't the issue. It would have been nice if the tongue was a little flatter on the sides when you get to the top. Looking at the midsole, the midsole, that's what a lot of times I call the engine of the shoe, because that's where a lot of the technology falls. And that FLYTEFOAM Blast material has held up really well. It's really bouncy. I think it's not uncommon for people reviewing the shoe to call it squishy, and that's true. It is. It does feel squishy, but there's a lot of energy return. Now, where I noticed the, probably where the shoes seem to shine for me was doing my hill work. I noticed that going uphill, it seemed pretty comfortable. A little less effort than it normally feels like. So I was impressed with the hill work and going downhill, and I noticed that today. I seem to be striking more from the midfoot back to the heel. And gosh, I had a lot of energy return where it just felt like, you know, the more I was striking that toward that heel area, the bigger bounce I got. So, you know, I was doing almost like butt kickers. It was just really noticeable. And it felt, you know, it felt pretty good. You know, it was really helping me move myself forward at a much quicker pace than I normally feel. That was a nice surprise. You know, on today's run, the temperature was perfect. It was probably 60 degrees, no wind. It was just a gorgeous day to be out running, and everything kind of felt in sync with these shoes, and it was scheduled to be an easy run day for me. My easy run days are between an 8:38 and 9:38 minute mile. So just kind of out there jogging more or less. And, you know, wearing the Novablast shoes today, everything felt good. And I got done with the run, and instead of, you know, an 8:38 minute mile that I was kind of shooting for, it came in at closer to about a 7:37 minute mile. So there, you know, there's a lot to be said for that FLYTEFOAM Blast material. It's fun. It's fun to run in. I really have enjoyed it. Looking at the outsole of the shoe after 100 miles, you know, there's some signs of wear, you know, on the AHAR plus material that they have on the bottom. It's a real thin layer, but it's holding up pretty well. You know, for 100 miles, it's not excessive. You know, there's not excessive wear. You can certainly see where, you know, I'm landing on my heel in that midfoot. I am typically a midfoot striker. Overall, this shoe's been fantastic to run in. I really enjoyed it as a daily trainer. And you know, when I get a shoe to 100 miles like I have these, oftentimes I kind of set them aside and move on to a next pair of shoes that I might be reviewing. And in this case, it kind of makes me sad a little bit to set these aside because I've enjoyed running them in them. And I'm sure I'll pick them up, you know, maybe on some, you know, easy long runs down the road. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload new content. As always, run tall, run strong, and be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.